Hi, my friend. I see that you came to me with a very good gift, with a gift in mind, and the gift is abuses. What I'm going to tell you is I am not accepting your gift. Go with it. I'm not accepting
me, I would
your
have been
gift.
so reactive.
Exactly.
Like, you're looking for me.
So even
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of We Are Fio. My name is Wamboi Mwehaki and I'm so thrilled that you are joining us for another episode. If you've seen how we've been delivering our episodes in 2024, they're very thematic, and we are diving now into the sphere of wellness, and we have a guest on set who will be able to demystify a certain type of wellness. But before we get started, please subscribe. We_R_Fio across all our social media platforms. And also, if you're listening to us via YouTube, hit that subscription button, hit that notification bell on all our audio platforms so that anytime we release something new, you are in the know. And I think we can already get started. As you can see, I do not have my co-host Leah here on set, but I do have an amazing guest who gave us his time today. And you will learn a lot. If I were you, ningekuwa hapo na notebook na biro, right? So let's get into it. And I will let our guest introduce himself before we dive into our topic on wellness today. Welcome.
Asante sana. Thank you very much. My name is Emmanuel Misiati. I am a facilitator, a trainer and moderator, and also something I love doing, or a part of me I love most, is I'm a wellness instructor. And yeah, today you'll regard me as a wellness instructor.
Yeah, so I hope you're ready. I'm so excited because this is something that I really love watching, listening to, and even just diving into. And before we get started into the specific questions around it, let's have like something fun, like an icebreaker, which is around being an animal.
Yeah.
Emmanuel, if you could be any animal, which one would you be and why?
That question to me changes every now and then, but for now, or for today, I would like to be an octopus. Octopus, because octopuses, they're called octopuses, right?
No idea.
Yeah. An octopus is so intelligent, extremely intelligent actually, right? And they have this just flow emotion and just free feel to them. They can take any form that they need to. So yeah, an octopus.
Wow.
Yourself?
I think for me, I'd be a bird.
Which bird?
How do I have a type of bird? Maybe a hummingbird. I think I just like energy that is free, that feels free. For me, birds signify freedom and being able to go anywhere without that kind of limitation. So like even my tattoos are of birds. I love birds. I feel like they signify something. So that's a very interesting response from your end. I did not think about an octopus. Before we get started into our topic on wellness, maybe we can do a short breathing exercise. You can guide us, and then we can dive into maybe something that you already do in your classes and all of that, and then we can start.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think something that maybe we can try is at the beginning of, say, any activity, you would always want to become, right? So when you're doing your breathing, the first thing you observe or is your posture. So it's advisable to have
Like you.
yes, an upright posture when you're doing breath work, mainly because when you're breathing in, you want to breathe in into your stomach. You'll realize most of the times we breathe in very short breaths and we breathe into our chest like. So yeah, just get your posture right. And then a very basic breathing technique that anyone can practice is take a breath for say 3 seconds, then you hold it for 4 seconds, then you exhale for 5. So it's like 3, 4, 5. If that is a little bit stretchy for you, you can do 2 seconds and then hold for 3 seconds and then exhale for 4. So for now, I think we can try 3.
Okay.
So you'll take a breath in for 3 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, and then exhale for 5.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
So first, just relax. exhale, relax. Then in 3, 2, 1, breathe in, 2, 3, and hold, 3, 4, and then exhale, and then breathe in and hold, exhale. One more time, breathe in, hold, exhale, and the last one, breathe in and hold and exhale. That's it.
That's very calming.
Yes. So you just keep that up for like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And if you get used to it, you can keep it up for longer, because the longer you do it, the better you feel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I like it. Okay, let's get into it. And maybe we can start by you letting us know, what does wellness mean to you? And maybe just break that down into if there's a specific type of wellness, or generally, what does wellness mean to you?
Okay.
Yeah.
So very simply put, I would say wellness is actual living. I'm not saying the other type of living we do is not living.
Yeah.
But wellness to me is the life that we pursue when we are considering our own well-being. So this includes activities that we deliberately do, that we know or we hope are going to have a positive effect on our experience of life.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, technically wellness should be living. It's not something that we expect to do in the morning or in the weekend. It's literally every minute of your life. In what you are doing, are you doing it in a way that enhances your way of living and well-being? Yes.
Oh, so it's like intentionally taking care of yourself, or doing things that make you feel good, huh?
Yeah, not just make you feel good, but just intentional living, things that enhance your experience of living. So by enhancing our experience of living is we experience life through either our bodies, right, our minds, our emotions, or our energy, right? But if you think about it, most of the time it's very easy to go on autopilot. So if I'm eating, yes, I'm eating to nourish my body, but if I'm not thinking, if I'm not deliberate about what I'm eating, then it just becomes I'm eating for the sake of eating. If I'm working, I'm pursuing my professional life, yes, I'm working, but I am blind to the effect of my work in my general experience, to my mind, to my body, to my emotions, to my energy. So to me, wellness is every waking hour, even when you sleep. How am I living in a way that enhances my way of being? Yeah.
I like that. I've listened to a lot of content from Stephen Bartlett, the one who runs the Diary of a CEO. And
Fun too.
Yeah, one of the things that he always talks about is like his sleep, and how intentional he is about sleeping well as part of his wellness. So when you say that it's not just when you are awake, it's also like when you're going to sleep and all of that. I like that. So when we narrow it down to yoga, when did you first encounter yoga as Emmanuel? When did you have that? When you know, sometimes you see things and they just like you see them on a surface level, but when did you like experience or identify yoga as something that relates to wellness?
Yeah. So let's see. I might spill a few personal secrets here. But so something a little bit of backstory, something I've realized about wellness: if you come across someone who is pursuing some wellness practices, it's because they've experienced some misery. They've experienced some hardship in life. They're like, hey, I need something more. I need something. I need something to just make my life a little bit easier, or just my experience of life better. So my point was, back in 2019, I was pursuing engineering in my university. Yes.
I went to Moi. Sure.
Side chat. We'll have a side chat. Anyway, Yeah, I was there. I had been there since 2017. I was doing electrical engineering. Props, it was fine. But I feel like as many people's experiences, especially in Kenya, you go to university doing something that your grades accorded you, and also your parents and your environment accorded you. So I think up until my university life, my life was just very routine, like just do what you're supposed to do and go about life like any normal standard person. But now in university, with all the freedom and exposure, I started wondering whether I really want to do engineering. But then it came to a point where it's something that bugs me every single day, because I'm okay. I'm not failing. I'm okay continuing with engineering, but it's just not satisfying. I don't see myself doing anything in line with engineering. When I think about sharing it with my parents, I'm like, oh my goodness, how will I even get that story started,
Kenyan
right?
parents are so hectic.
Exactly. So I went through, I think 2018, I went through a whole year of just having a lot of internal struggle. Of course, other factors considered apart from just that dilemma. Yeah, and it got to a point I'd wake up and I'm like, yo, I just want to feel like I'm breathing in and out successfully. It just felt like there's a weight on my chest or something. So yeah, that was my point of sort of misery. And over time, so I just started reading up, just looking up YouTube. I don't even remember what I was searching for, but I just remember encountering, you can just do stretches at home and you'll be fine. So in 2019, I was like, okay, let me just do a few stretches, wake up in the morning, do some run, see if I can do some breath work. And then
it was to alleviate stress.
Yeah, it was just like, hey, okay, I need better evenings and better mornings. Yeah, so eventually it became, just started with stretching. Like I just felt good stretching. So I wake up in the morning, do my stretch, maybe sometime in the evening, do it two out of 7 days, sometimes 3 out of 7 days, sometimes. Yeah, but then the habit stuck up until 2020. Then over time, I started paying more attention to what exactly I'm doing. Yes, I understand I'm stretching. Yes, I understand I'm breathing in. But why is this experience making me feel like I know myself better, making me feel like the world is less of a harsh place as compared to how I used to see it? And
so, and you're still, at that point, you're still studying, no?
No. So in 2019, I just told my parents in that December, like, yo, I can continue this thing, but it's killing me. And they're like, okay, you can just get another skill. So I moved from way back to Nairobi. Then I was staying alone, so it was just a lot of me time and just doing these small practices. Sometimes I go to Karura Forest, just take a walk, do a stretch on the grass. It just feels so good. Yeah, but then I became more deliberate about it. Started reading up on yoga and started understanding the connection between now my body, motion, my breath, and the thoughts I'm having around that, and how that is actually helping me, because I started feeling better. Then over time I just get more knowledge. I'm part of a few communities. In 2022 I started sharing that with them. I'm like, yo, see, before our team building, let's do some stretches, some breath works. And then now over time, people are like, yo, we need you to give us a yoga session. I'm like, but I haven't even gone to India.
You haven't sat with the monks.
I haven't gone to India. But then over time, merging the knowledge and the practice, I have come to really appreciate my wellness practices. And it is so ingrained now that if I go a few days, 2-3 days without practicing, I can feel myself struggle in some way, or not, or some less of ease in life. So that's the origin of my practice with yoga.
I really like the way you started from it was something that, like, a struggle you had, because it's like being an entrepreneur. It's a struggle you had. You found a solution that works for you, and then you shared that solution with other people, and it also works for them. I really like how you are very intentional, because sometimes life can be so hard. The first thing you look for is what is there, like things like alcohol or substance abuse, to like help you get through things. But I think there's a appreciation of your intentionality of looking for something that would actually be helpful even in the long term, which is something I think like anyone might take for granted, but I think it's very intentional and very positive, you know. When I was struggling in uni, I didn't think of yoga. That did not even come top of mind. But I always had an appreciation for body movement. Like I started running and jogging when I was in uni. Up to more near the offices, just around there. So I have always had that an appreciation of knowing that when I move my body, I feel good about myself. I have better thoughts. You know, I have that appreciation.
Yeah, and if I may say something, you said body movement, and you say that also composes a wellness practice. Because I feel like when most people think wellness practice, yoga, breath work. Yeah, but even just as you said, taking a run, that's still a wellness practice because it involves you using your body.
Yeah, and there's an intentionality because nobody was holding the stick. It was like, I want to de-stress. So let me see if running helps my mind de-stress, and it always felt good after. Now that you've touched on yoga as a practice, maybe you can just break it down and just let us know, like, what is this thing called yoga? Yeah.
I don't know if they can see my shirt, but yoga is union.
Ooh, I hadn't actually seen it. I'd seen yoga is union. Nice.
Yeah, so at the very basic, yoga is union. So I guess the question to ask is union of what?
Yeah.
Earlier on I said we experience life either through our bodies, our minds, our emotions, and our energies. No other way, right?
Yeah.
If you think about it, that's how we experience life. So yoga, in essence, is a union of our mind and body.
Therefore.
Yes.
Nice.
See?
Yeah.
Like that's just it. And then I guess someone will ask, what is this union like? It's just when you're experiencing life, are you able to experience them as one? Because as I told you, it's very easy for us to sit here and have this conversation and see it to be just an intellectual experience, right? We're just using our minds, right? But our bodies are here.
Yeah.
Yes, there's some energy around us. So the question is, are we able to experience life in union?
Yeah.
So essentially that's what yoga means. And then in now attempting to experience life as one, there's some certain practices that now help you arrive, at that, have that as a state of being. You see, you can always have that union, say when you just sit down and have some breath work, that's okay. But now when you get up and start and you go eat or you go talk to someone, there's a little bit of how will I put it, division of now our experiences. So if I'm going to the gym, then I'm just using my body. I don't even think about my mind. I don't even think about anything else of my experience. So the practices that help us now experience life through union is now what composes now the science and the practice of yoga. So that's where you get the different flows, you get the different forms of yoga and all of that. But at the very basic, for anyone who's wondering, yoga is just union.
Wow.
Of mind and body.
Anytime I think about yoga, I always think about being still.
Yeah.
And like, because anytime I practice or I'm like, I need to do some breath work or anything around that, it's when I feel disconnected and disjointed.
Yes.
So whenever I feel that, I just do like simple things. Like I just stay and breathe and keep quiet and like try to, you know how you can visualize? I'm bringing my mind, I'm bringing my heart. I want everything to be together. Like even when you're making a big decision, you're like, I need everything in me to come together and align and agree that we're doing this. So when you say it's a union, now I'm visualizing and looking at all of these parts, my body, my heart, I'm looking at all of these things come together, and now it makes sense the way you've explained it.
Yes.
As a practice. Okay. That's very interesting. And how about like, how did this thing called yoga come to be? What is why? What is its origin? How has it stayed for so long? Because yoga is not a practice for the last 10 years. I think it's decades old. So maybe you can just take us through that origin of yoga and why up to date it's still something that people are still looking out for, like practicing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the best of my knowledge, again, because as I told you, it's India. I haven't gone to India yet. When I come back, I'll come back with receipts and references. But of the much I know, yoga started about 2700 BC that year. This guy Shiva, let's call him a guy.
Yeah.
This guy Shiva.
Because he's Indian.
He's a lord now. But this guy Shiva was found by the community in two states, either in just a lot of motion, just movement, and he's so happy and so blissful, and at times he's just seated and still so peaceful and so blissful. And so people are like, yo, oh, what is this magic, what is this knowledge that you have? And for about several years, I think it's around 8 years, Shiva was just like, you people are not ready to understand this way of life or something like that. But eventually Shiva got there were 7 people from the community who were like, yo, we really need to learn this. And so Shiva just transferred to them, became now the first yogi. I was like, through these motions, through this stillness, you are able to attain some level of enlightenment. And with this enlightenment come now the ultimate experience of life. Then these 7 people just spread out, went to Asia, went to other parts of the Eastern Europe, and started teaching. And so over time, it was just different yogis who were taught by other yogis, transferring the same practices to people. So
like fundamentally, it's because they saw like he was very calm, very zen, and all of that, or like what do you think drew people to be like, okay, I want what you have?
What draws you to go to a church where people are so peaceful? It's because you're like, hey, you people are not suffering like me. It seems like you people, you're living a different life. They have a recipe. Yeah. If you think about it, every day we wake up, we try to see how best we can experience life. Okay, it's crazy. We are a little bit sidetracked with working and all. But even with working, you want some level of comfort, some level of, if you're going to the gym, you want a better experience of your body. So even when these people are seeing Shiva, you're like, yo, it's like you're experiencing life at a different level. People, the ultimate experience of life. So I'm like, yeah, we need that because you're not as miserable as we are. When you come across someone who looks like they're living in their heaven right now, wouldn't you want that?
I would want the recipe. I'd be exactly. Like, dude, what are you doing?
Exactly. So that's just what drove people to be like, we would like to practice.
Makes sense.
See?
Yeah.
So it's been common in the eastern part of the world, but just the same practice. Someone learns, becomes a yogi, doesn't even have to become a yogi, but understands the practice very well, and now teaches the practice to other people. And that's how it just got across the world.
Why do you think because it's a very age-old practice, and with social media and the way the world has evolved, a lot of things have become extinct. Like there are things that are no longer there. Like if you tell somebody, like right now we are more on Instagram than on Facebook. So why is it a practice that has stood the test of time?
I thought about that question, and the only answer I could come up with is because it works. See, remember you said when you feel stressed, you just sit around. It's not like you know all the science, right?
No,
but you do something that you have learned or seen somewhere, and and it has an effect. It works, right? So when I look at yoga, it gives me a template to the authentic things in life. In this sense, number one, you don't have to understand all of it for you to reap some benefits. See? So if anyone in Kenya comes across a yoga session on YouTube and they're like, this looks interesting, let me try, they will still get some benefit. Right? Yoga is not sectarian. So by sectarian, when you're practicing, there's no God that you're trying to pray to. Right?
Yeah.
Given that some yoga for forms or practices have chanting,
yeah.
you know, but they are not chants that are, say, led by or dictated by some religious dogmas or something.
Yeah.
So in essence, it is yoga because it can be practiced by anyone, anywhere, and they can exactly.
Yeah.
It is universal. So I think that's the main reason why it has stood the test of time. I try to apply that to every other thing that I see out here.
Yeah.
If it can't be applied universally, then it's not as good.
I've never thought about it like it stood the test of time because it works.
Yeah, you don't have to know, I don't know the language. I didn't have to relearn.
Yeah.
You don't have to know a lot for you to reap the benefits because it just works.
Yeah.
And then I think also because yoga is, how will I put it? See, it's a union of mind and body, right? And then of course the spirit. And everyone has that.
Yeah.
Everyone can have an authentic experience of that. So when you experience what you experience when you're practicing yoga, I cannot come and tell you that it's not true. No. You're not calm. You're pretending.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. So that means it gives you a chance for you to try and establish your own either belief or faith of the practice.
Yeah. So it's both universal and it's also very personal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's your experience and you're able to make your own conclusions from the practice.
Yeah.
So if you come across a certain practice of yoga and you're like, hey, it's too much chanting.
Yeah.
No one will come and tell you, no. You have to practice the one for chanting. There's another form of practice that does not involve chanting.
Yeah.
And you can also try that one out. And if you feel it's not working, be like, no, it doesn't work for me. You get another one. It's more of you're encouraged to try. You're not told this is the practice.
Yeah.
Do this for 10 minutes. No, you can do it for 3 minutes. You can do it for 1 hour.
Actually, now that you've touched on it, let's talk about those common types of yoga.
Yeah.
Common in that a lot of people might know about them, and also if there are other forms of yoga that you feel would be key for you to mention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the most common form of yoga that we know, and truthfully the one that I practice most of the time is we can call it yoga of the body.
Yoga of the body.
Yeah. So remember, we experience life through body, mind, emotion, and energy. So most people will be like, it's so stressful. Maybe let me do a flow of yoga. So I'll roll down my mat and start moving my body, as you said, movement. So if that is your main avenue for trying to achieve oneness, then that is the form of yoga that you practice. And so that is the most common one.
Yoga of the body.
Yeah, so that's why you find you can just go into like 30 minutes yoga workflow, and most of what the instructor will tell you is just move like this, move like that, move like this, just majorly on the body.
Yeah, I think I've practiced that one.
Yeah, so that's what most of us practice when I'm instructing. That is what I am offering people. You don't have to know, I don't know the science or anything to that. Then the other parts, so we've done body, there's also mind.
Mind yoga.
So yoga through the mind, or exploring that through mind. There's terms for them in Indian. As I said, when I come back from India,
he'll give us all.
When I come back from India, I'll write a book. But so this is one in which you're trying to understand through either reading, interacting with other yogis, and so you're asking questions. It's like, hey, what does it mean? So what does it mean? It's mostly intellectual.
Okay.
Right? And so you either go study like me when I go to India. Okay, I'll stop doing that. Yeah, it's mostly mental. So it's asking questions, learning from others. And then there's also yoga of...
Sorry, before you continue, is it questions? What type of questions am I asking at that point?
Whichever questions you have, where did yoga come from? Then you're like, you go read.
Or like an understanding of yoga.
Asking, yes.
Okay, got
the intellectual, where did it come from? So if I do this, what will it, for some people, they don't need that. You just tell them, please roll up your mat, do downward dog, and be like, okay. But for intellectual, be like, why?
Okay, got
It's mostly inquisitive. It's philosophical, sort of.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then now there's yoga through devotion. So that is considering your emotions, and being like, me, I'm going to dedicate my life to experiencing life at its ultimate through devoting my emotional well-being in some certain sense. So that it would be something like a monk. So they'd be like, me, I'm not going to marry. All my emotions and all my devotion is just towards experiencing life at its ultimate. So I will seclude myself and be like, I will not marry. I will not say consume certain substances, majorly because I do not want my emotional state to be influenced.
Okay, so you've touched on this monk practice, and I'm really keen on understanding why you think it's so effective, that seclusion. And like, because when people get out of such a environment, based on like people we know, prominent people like Disheti, and how they now understand the world, how they communicate about even how they talk, there's just something, I don't know, it's like a secret that they go and get in, like a monk secret, like what does seclusion and that meditation do that enhances your, I don't even know how to call it, your sense of being or your sense of self?
That's a good one. If you were to ask yourself, what are you? Like, at the very core, what are you? Well, like, what are you? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you think about it, everything is just a manifestation of life. Like, what you have is capacity for life, just that now it's manifested as Rita. And now me, it's still life, right? But it's manifested as Emmanuel Misiati.
Yeah.
Even when you think about it in terms of plants, what they have is a life form. It starts from a seed, it grows. Now, if you extrapolate it further and think about the universe, what was there before there was the universe? Just the potential of a universe.
Yes.
So I think what wellness practices such as meditation and even where the yoga devotion that we've talked about does is it gets you not to just understand that I'm potential of life. It gets you to connect to that potential of life. That's why you get many people who practice yoga saying, I'm one with the universe. I'm one with the universe because the same, it's literally, I know it's very difficult to fathom, even for me, I forget it sometimes, but the same potential for life, for being that is in the universe is the same potential that each and every person has. But I think we forget that, and most of what we do, how we live life is just using the bodies that we have. Like, we forget about the very fundamental potential for life that there is. So I think the difference it makes is once you've connected to your potential for life, you see life very differently. When you look at the environment, you don't just see trees, it's potential for life. Then so that affects how you treat people.
Yeah.
Because I won't just come and beat you up, Rita, because I'm like, you did something to me. No. I remember that Rita is just a potential for life, right? And the Rita that is here now is the manifestation of that potential. But that potential is still within her. It's still within me.
Yeah.
So even as I continue experiencing life, as I continue with my being, now I can think of how I can be better of this potential. It's almost like how you will have clay, and then beside maybe I will make a pot or I will make a cup.
Yeah. I like that. I feel like you've made me look at, how we have segmented humanity into race, I'm black, you're white, or I've segmented into you're male, I'm female, and there's segmentation of you're of a certain class or of a certain,
rich and poor,
I'm rich and poor,
not good looking.
Yeah, even that. And then you've now stripped all of that away to you're a life form that is existing right now as Misiati, and I'm existing in the same life form, but I'm existing as Rita. Exactly. I love that. And I think that's, I don't know, it's an enlightenment of being where you're able to identify another person, not just in how they are different, but in that the core of me is also the core of the other person. That we are just existing. You're just Misiati, I'm Rita, but it's the same underlying thing, I think that's very cool just to think about. And why do you think that for some people it's easier to get there, for you to be able to now like have that understanding and be able to give people more grace, and for some people there's a lot of noise, they're not able to get to that like sort of enlightenment? Why do you think there's that disconnectedness in terms of how fast somebody can get there?
That's a really good question. First, I don't think it's easy for anyone, right? And again, it's not a linear journey.
Yeah.
I think it might be difficult for other people because we're just different people. Because at the end of the day, what we are trying to achieve is union. But if I have lived a life of a lot of, I would say, disturbance or trouble, then that means when I'm sitting down or when I'm trying to stretch and trying to concentrate on my breath, there's a lot more that comes into my head, I say, as compared to the thoughts that trouble you, for example. Same way for some people, trying to achieve this state of wellness or trying to get into this space of wellness is easier through just sitting down and breathing as compared to trying and get their bodies moving. Maybe because of the life they've lived before. It's much more difficult to connect through their bodies.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just a matter of different experiences and how easy each of us, each person will find it to just let go of these, to strip off these other, what are they called? They're just called forms.
Yeah.
These are the things that don't necessarily have life. So it's not necessarily easy for some people.
Yeah.
It's just that watu wengine naweza kuwa nimepitia vitu mingi sana.
Yeah.
And so letting go is a little bit difficult. Yeah, but with more practice and just maintaining that pursuit of finding union between your mind and body, yeah, you just get there.
So it's like when you're talking about this, I'm thinking about people who deal with depression and like people who are suicidal. And I think from what I'm getting is that such a practice would help them. Like, okay, let's start from the beginning. There's a disconnect for like when you're experiencing that, when you're going through depression or you're having suicidal thoughts, there's a disconnect that has happened. Is that correct? Like there's something that is not, you're not in union.
Yes.
Yeah.
It could be put that way. A way to look at it is, I think when we were having a break, I was telling you guys about the meditation course I was taking. Something very interesting that we are told when we are taking that course is you're going to have to work hard. You know, I'm just thinking, it's going to be sitting down.
Yeah, I'm making meditation, I'm working hard.
You're going to be told you have to work hard.
Yeah.
And it's mainly because as we pursue this union of body and mind, a lot of thoughts come back, a lot of emotions. We are reactive beings, right? So depending on your experience of life that has led you to have an anxious experience, a depressive experience, remember these are not things that, these are not parts of our body.
Yeah.
They are experiences. And just as we have agreed, the pursuit is in trying to live life in the present. So when we are trying to practice this breathing, we are told you have to work hard. And you have to work hard because every other time thoughts are coming to your head and you're told it's okay, let them pass. It's not easy. You have to work hard because you are going to have to learn to be present for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes. And that includes confronting some thoughts that I do not like, most probably, confronting emotions that I have never wanted to feel. So it gets hard when you've experienced a lot, and this I don't know if you can call it a choice, but this step of being like, okay, I've experienced it, or the thought has come to my head, I need to let it go.
Yeah.
It might not be easy for some people. Yeah, but that's why we were being told, it's hard work. So even when I'm instructing wellness sessions, I don't tell people it's easy.
Yeah.
When I've given you a very simple pose or even just any pose, and I'm telling you, please kindly try and hold that pose for 5 breaths. When you're feeling tired, it's not that your body can't handle it.
Yeah.
It's just that we are not used to experiencing and just letting the experience flow.
So you'd rather stop that experience.
So you would rather stop and be like, hey, no, this posture,
Yeah,
but something that I have learned in this pursuit for wellness through yoga and meditation is, number one, even the pain that you're feeling in your knee, it is just a sensation.
Yeah.
And if you're able to maintain your level of presence, concentrate on your breath, concentrate on, actually it's just your breath, concentrate, because the reason why yoga has focuses on breath is because number one, breath is energy. And then number two, breath is the main thing that we have as human beings that always reminds us of now. Like you can do it subconsciously, but if you are able to concentrate on it, then you will always be present. Because I can feel my breath go through my nostrils.
Gives you an appreciation of life also.
I can feel it come out. And as long as you focus on it, you will realize that, I'm just here.
You're alive.
Yeah. So pretty much that's it.
I think when you've talked about it, I've now just trying to think about what you've said about letting the thought, like if it comes, let it come. See the thought, experience whatever you're going to experience at that time, then it will go and let it go. I like that because now I'm thinking when you're in that state of depression, because there's a lot of depressing things in this world. Tusianze tu na the taxes. But there's a lot of depression, even like in the dating scene. People joke about Nairobi as a very big market, but there's a depression around it. Because I also saw someone, there's somebody I follow on Instagram, I can't even remember his name, but he creates, I think it's poet. And one of the poets that he had is around, I don't want these Valentines to pass without, I don't want to just let it pass and ignore the fact that I feel bad or just accept that, like joke around that I'm single, And then it made me think about there's a depression, an underlying depression that people quote with saying like jokish things and all of these things. But there's something underlying, and we don't let ourselves experience it, feel bad about it, allow ourselves to sit in the badness of it, and then allow it to live, because it's just an experience for at that time, but it will flow out.
We are very, very, very active beings. If you think about it, every time we wake up in the morning, it's a lot of things that will make us react.
Yeah.
So I give people a very simple example. I woke up in the morning, it's raining, I had scheduled a yoga session, and at that moment I am battled with, okay, it's a very uncomfortable feeling, number one, right? And so I either have to accept that, okay, it won't happen, and move on, or be like, this rain, and post about it and cling to it. And it's something very, if you're not very conscious about it, it's very easy to be swayed or carried by our reactions to emotions. And something that wellness and yoga tries to get you at is be non-reactive. Like, just don't be reactive. See? Because now if I'm not reactive, then I am not creating situations for later times when I'll be feeling uncomfortable. I'm not affecting or negating the next minute or the next hour, because that situation won't change. Same thing, nikikutukana. Nikikutukana, you have to decide whether unachukua matusi yangu ama utachukua.
That level of being.
There's a very interesting story that we were told of this yogi who was so good, and his teachings, were spreading all over the eastern part of our world. And then we were like, nah, we have to stop this person, because this person is affecting our religious institutions. Everyone is going to them. So this person, one of them goes to his house and it's like starts abusing him. So this yogi just keeps quiet. At the end, the yogi says, "Hi, my friend. I see that you came to me with a very good gift, with a gift in mind, and the gift is abuses. What I'm going to tell you is I am not accepting your gift. Go with it. I'm not accepting
I would have been so reactive.
Exactly.
You're like, shit, you're looking for me.
So even when I think of these states that we are in, and it also counts for happy states. sometimes we cling on to happy states, right? I'm with my beloved and we're having a good time, and it's been a weekend. It's now Monday. I don't want to let those thoughts leave my mind.
Yeah.
I just want to think of the good times I had with my baby.
So it affects
the present, because now you're not concentrating in the moment. Same thing nikikutukana. Nikikutukana, you have to decide whether unachukua matusi yangu ama utachukua.
That level of being.
There's a very interesting story that we were told of this yogi who was so good, and his teachings, were spreading all over the eastern part of our world. And then we were like, nah, we have to stop this person, because this person is affecting our religious institutions. Everyone is going to them. So this person, one of them goes to his house and it's like starts abusing him. So this yogi just keeps quiet. At the end, the yogi says, "Hi, my friend. I see that you came to me with a very good gift, with a gift in mind, and the gift is abuses. What I'm going to tell you is I am not accepting your gift. Go with it. I'm not accepting
I would have been so reactive.
Exactly.
Like, shit, you're looking for me.
So even when I think of these states that we are in, and it also counts for happy states. Sometimes we cling on to happy states, right? I'm with my beloved and we're having a good time, and it's been a weekend. It's now Monday. I don't want to let those thoughts leave my mind.
Yeah.
I just want to think of the good times I had with my baby.
So it affects
the present, because now you're not concentrating in the moment.
Yeah. I think it's true for even rest.
Yes.
Like when I'm resting, sometimes there's a guilt because I can think about work for, maybe I didn't finish work Friday. Tomorrow. So I'm holding on and I'm like, Monday itafika lini? Because right now I want to be like with my partner and rest, but I'm not resting because I'm thinking about Sunday itaisha lini, so that Monday, the time allotted for work, I can do the thing I didn't do. So I'm now not in the present, and it's giving me stress.
Yes. And
now this actually ties into my next question around yoga and stress, because based on some of the things that I've read online, there's a lot of science behind how yoga helps alleviate stress. So let's talk about that connectedness of that, or that relationship between yoga and stress.
Yeah. When we think about it, stress is just either anxious of something that hasn't happened, or regretting or fighting with something that already happened, right? So yoga is just coming in place to remind you again, these things are arising and passing.
It's
arising and passing.
Yeah.
You cannot, as human beings, you don't have the ability to travel back in time. We don't have the ability to go into the future. So every time we are stressed, or we are in states of being stressed, we are literally causing misery to ourselves, because there's nothing else we can do. A measure of your progress in wellness that I got from meditation is something called equanimity. So equanimity is a stressful thought has come to my mind, right? Am I able to observe it and let it go? So not react to it that, why are you stressed, Miss Yati? No, why is that stressing you? Yeah. Like even that is just a reaction. It's just that, oh man, my yoga session, I wish I could have done it. It's not that I've realized it, I'm stressed. Now I'm like, why are you stressed now? Why can't you, it's just a matter of the thought came and it passed. So yoga is really helpful with stress because number one, it calms you down. It reminds you of the present. So you're just able to focus on your breath, focus on your movement, and so you're calm. But the other very beneficial thing is through yoga and breathwork, particularly breathwork, is we get our bodies to get used to stress type of states. Yes. So you've held a posture for like, I don't know, 10 seconds. Ooh. And you're like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. Oh my God, I can't do this anymore. But then you remember to just focus on your breath. So in that experience, you've gotten your body and mind in a state of feeling stressed, but you were able to manage that stress, right?
Yeah.
It was stressful, but you were able to
Manage.
Still be present and go through it. Now, fast forward to it, you've done your yoga session in the morning, you've gone to work, and someone has just rubbed you off the wrong way, or you've been given a lot of workload. Now you're still stressed.
Yeah.
But remember, in the morning, you've gone through a period of just getting your body in a stressed state, but you managed it. So when you're now at work, yes, you're stressed, but your body is not the same.
Because of what you did.
Yes, your body can recognize, this is just a stressed state.
And it will end.
It will be able to manage that. That ties to, I think, something that most scientists mention about our past instinct as man.
Yeah.
It was the reason why you get stressed or anxious is, I need to do something. It's fight or flight. Something needs to happen. But these days, there's a lot of fight or flight situations. Oh, my boss. Oh, my friend. Something I've seen on social media. And so if your body does not recognize that I can also be calm in this way, then your body is always shooting, either anxious or depressed, because it's, like literally it's your physiology telling you need to do something. You need to do something. You need to do something.
You need to succeed right now.
Yeah. But if you're able to just practice in the morning, in the evening, you get your body in a place that can accommodate a lot of stress.
Oh, I like that. Because now I'm thinking I need to, like when I'm stressed, it's now me identifying identifying the stress point. Because what I do is I call it out. Like when I'm stressed, something I learned from James Clear, like look at it and call it out, because that way you become more conscious of it. So when I'm stressed, I'm like, Rita, you're stressed because of this and this and this. And the moment I speak it, I now can feel my body like releasing it because I've recognized it. It's like when a child is like nagging you to look at them. The minute you do that, everything is now, the child is okay, you're cool, you can do the next thing. So I like that practice around yoga, that way yoga helps you identify the stress, but it also lets you know it's a stress period, and then you let it go, and then that's it, you can move to the next thing. And then what you've mentioned, mimi niko hapa nikipatiana recap, you like that practice you do in the morning, it leaves a memory in your brain, in your body. So during the day, even as you're stressed, your body has a memory of what happened when you were stressed earlier, because you intentionally put yourself through that stress, like through the practice of yoga. And then your body remembers and is like, okay, your boss has stressed you, but remember, your body knows you were stressed earlier, now you're not, and this too shall pass.
Yes.
Yep. Nasikia ni kama napata tu ma gems hapa hivi. I don't know if my cameraman is telling me we roll up. So I wish it was we had like more time. Okay, no problem. We can wrap up with the last two questions or one question.
I'll try to be brief.
Two or one? Brief? Oh man. Okay. I guess then we can close it up. And maybe if somebody wanted to do yoga or to practice yoga, where would they start? You can also let us know like how they would get into your yoga class. Yeah.
You can start yoga anywhere. Like as long as you can have some space, you can either decide to follow any tutorial online, or even just imagine what your people who do yoga do and see if you can try that, and then just again focus on your mind, body, and presence or breath. I say that because most people feel like this is something that I need to go to India.
Yeah. And it's not.
I need to go to India. No, you don't need to go to India. And then also because, as we said, it's very personal, or not very personal, it's a personal experience. So no one can discount it. And you're also able to judge for yourself. I did breath work for 5 minutes, or I stretched for 10 minutes. How did it feel?
Yeah. How did it feel?
Yeah, I need more of it to come out.
Yeah.
So literally, you don't need anything. Just mahali uko. You can do it on the bed, like wherever you are. And it works. If you'd like to check out yoga studios in Kenya, I will tell you. But before that, let me tell you about my group. I'm an instructor, and I'm putting together a community of people who are enthusiastic about wellness practices. For now, we are just majorly dwelling on yoga and breathwork. So, are you curious? Are you a beginner? Are you an expert? Would you like to do this with people? Majorly because when you do it with people, yes, you are alone and it's a personal experience, but you are also able to get some sense of support, or some sense of, maybe it's not just me who gets tired on the 15th minute, that type of thing. And also you get to share a lot with other people. So that's Wellness Collective. I'll share the link to our Instagram.
Yeah, we will add it on the description. Yeah.
If you feel like you want to venture out in different yoga studios, there's Yoga Go Down Kenya. We'll also share this, heart to heart yoga and the likes. But I'll insist at the very basic, the space you have in the house, outside your house, and a tree, wherever. You can definitely get started there. There's a lot of content on YouTube, and it's content that you can use because, again, I'll repeat, it's a very subjective experience, and you're able to verify for yourself if this is something that is enhancing your way of being or not. Yeah.
All right. I have learned so much. I feel like I was in class, which is the intention of We Are Fio, just enabling you to grasp all the details, the nuggets that you can get from us as individuals, from the guests that we get, and being able to bake that into your life experience and being able to live a more wholesome life that is a definition of wellness for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for coming on board. I feel so honored.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was such a great episode, and I hope you learned a lot. Please follow us across socials, we_r_fio, and follow Emmanuel on
Facilitator Misiati.
Yep, and we will see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye.